Hi there Pokefans, I am your humble host Trozd fan, and you're watching Pokemon Gym Challenges. And as you see, today we have a quick start, and we are going to do this World Champion match or tournament, and I'm experimenting with doing shorter intros so that we can get more done. I think about 17 episodes is just about all I can tolerate with having such a long intro. But maybe I'll go back to the old ways in the next episode. Hopefully that is not the case. So here we start with our world tournament. This isn't all that difficult, although I only do one. I suppose it does get more difficult as time goes on and you experiment with more games. And the main reason I don't actually go on with it is because your Pokemon don't actually gain any experience. So as a training mechanism it is kind of useless. Okay, so first up is you versus us, of course, and he is immediately at the advantage because he has a water type against our fire type. So we will have to go with a fighting type attack. Hopefully we will do enough damage that we can take him out. Oh, but he also goes for a fighting type attack. If he went for a water type attack, we would have been done for. So he actually helps us out by allowing us to defeat his water type with our fire fighting type, which is stupid in not a small amount. I went for Heat Crush this time and he went for Detect, so that is all useless to us because I think that Heat Crush will do a lot more damage due to the weight difference. And the Tranquil survives that Heat Crash. Okay, let's just take it out with the rollout quickly. And remember that Big Knight is wearing the wide lens, so that that does not miss all that often. And it turns out that this rollout was actually a bad idea. But now that we're in it. It's a pity you can't call back your Pokemon while it is busy rolling out. Because a fire type attack would have done a lot of good against that grass monkey. I think I should get one of the newer games. A little bit newer than this. I think the next generation or the generation just after this, we have a Score Bunny and all those Pokemon. But I first need to find the console that runs those games. So maybe you could help me out and subscribe and share with your friends. And maybe if I get to 100,000 views, YouTube might start paying me for this content, and then I could get both a capture card and that console, in which case I would not actually need the emulator. But I will also save up on my own, and maybe I'll just buy it on my own at some stage. But then I will not buy the capture card, I'll just use another emulator. Next up is Sharon, the gym leader, and he has a little bit stronger Pokemon at this time, like Stoutland. And obviously the fighting type attack is the one that I choose because fighting is strong against normal. and I'm fairly sure that Startline could have done a much stronger attack than he actually did. But in any case, this is our first experience with the tournament, so I suppose the game is making it easy for us. Gensino. That is quite a difficult Pokemon to deal with on occasion. And then watch out. I love how Arm Thrust takes us through this whole battle. Okay, so now we are in the final battle. Chorus was Gavin, and Chorus manages to go through. They didn't actually show every single contender. Of course, we only fight in the fights that concern us, but those lines, if you notice, if you just go back a little bit, they don't show every contender, so I don't know who Gavin was fighting against, and I don't know what the outcome of that specific fight was. Same on our side, I don't know who was in the other side of the battle tree, and I don't know who won that side of the battle tree in order for you to be my opponent. Okay, my mistake. I know you won that side of the battle tree because you was my opponent just before this final battle. Okay, not you. I'm completely wrong. It was Chorus, not Chorus. Silent was the one, the gym leader. He was on the other side of that battle tree of mine, on the same side of course, but on the bottom branch, and he won that branch. That's why he and I fought, and then now we are on the main body of the tree, the body, or the trunk you could say, where I am now fighting against Chorus. But instead of us having to fight people we have already fought, and no, this tournament should actually contain people that we haven't fought yet. Like we have fought Gavin, but we haven't fought the lady he was fighting against. Now, in a game development sense, it's much easier to just go with a Pokemon you know exists already, instead of giving and programming in all new Pokemon. Although it would have been nice if that lady was the one we were fighting instead of Chorus, and she had a pink theme, for instance, with all pink Pokemon. That might have been quite difficult to deal with, if she did it correctly. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you have an opinion about this specific point I am making. Okay, so this is how you gain battle points in this specific game, and I might do much more of that off screen later on if I need to gain or buy a TM somewhere that requires battle points. I wonder what was on the other side of this league, because I was only on the one side and I checked out all of those Pokemon trainers or whatever. Not trainers, you can call them trainers or tutors or forgetters. But I wonder what is on the other side. If there are only items you can buy on the other side, or if there are any decent move tutors over there. And I mean to the right of where I'm standing now. Okay, so Coolers is talking a lot of nonsense. Okay, I do come over here. I wonder what this guy does. Oh, okay, so he teaches the elemental equivalents of the hyper beam, like and she teaches you combination moves. But the elemental variants of the hyper beam is things like Frenzied Plant and Burn Blast and Hydro Cannon, I think. Although there are Pokemon, specifically Blastoise, which is a first generation water type, who I believe ought to be able to learn Hydro Cannon all by itself, even if that all by itself is at a very high level, like level 70. Regardless of whether it evolves or not. That is just my opinion. Feel free to chip in as well with that opinion, whether you agree or not. Okay, so now we are going to do this ship battle, and you will see me running around all over the ship looking for a specific item, which you won't find because it's not available in this iteration of the ship battle. But the item I will be looking for will eventually be found on this airship. It's a Coffin versus Big Knight, and I immediately go for a rollout, and he goes for a gyro ball. That is almost a similar move, and only rollout grows stronger as it goes on, whereas gyro ball is a weight based attack. So we defeat this first guy, and we only used rollout, and they only had one Pokemon, so rollout wasn't actually the best attack to use. Although at the time I was reasoning that rollout might be the best one I have, because it's similar to a ground type attack, and poison is weak to ground. It is not weak to rock really. So we went for a Heat Crash, which is also a weight based attack, and it might prove valuable later on. and we get poisoned. Not exactly what I was hoping for. As you may have noticed, I'm trying to get my Big Knight to evolve to a Embor, so that I can teach it a decent set of attacks. Okay, so I don't actually have an antidote. That is a problem on my part. I wonder if I have a berry that has... I do have a berry that heals poison. Not a berry, a berry. Sometimes accents are a bad thing. Because I'm kind of stuck. Okay, so that is the trick. You have to be invited into the double battle before you can join into the double battle. You can't just attack one of the grunts, which is silly because you get attacked all the time by random trainers. All you need to do is walk in their line of sight and there is no getting out of that battle. They don't even ask you if you want to fight, you're just fighting. That would be a nice change in future iterations of this game. If you can walk by a trainer and then he does approach you like usual, but he asks you if you want to fight or not, and you can opt to fight and you can opt to not fight. And the advantage of doing that is that you can opt to not fight in the beginning of your game, fairly early on, like in the right beginning routes, and just fight and capture Pokemon and grind Pokemon because they are very low level, and at that stage of the game it is quite advantageous to fight them. And then later on in the later stage of the game, when trainers give you more experience than the wild Pokemon do, especially if you have to train for the league, if you have to do some grinding to get up to the level of the league, then you can go back to the beginning routes, fly it over there, and they have then miraculously leveled along with you. And then you can gain a decent amount of experience that way, instead of what they've done recently, which is just to give you a experience share, which gives experience to every single Pokemon that you have. That is nice, but it makes the game far too easy, in my opinion. Now, does anyone have a alternative opinion or idea to this idea? I just came up with this idea on the fly while we were fighting this grunt over here. Anyway, this is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you were seeing. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. And please consider sharing and subscribing to this channel. Sharing it with your friends as I asked. And thank you and goodbye.